Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Torb Draws. I'm alone this time, drawn. Not through any decision of my own. People are busy, which is fine. Today I'm going to be trying to draw some lizards because pretty soon I think I'll have to draw a dragon of some kind. I figured I'd get my brain juices pre-jacked for that process a little bit. So this creature called the armadillo lizard that I'm going to be doodling today, I picked it because it's got like weird spiky scales that are unusual looking. I'm going to start with a more direct copy of one of the images. I might as well just like copy this onto my thing somewhere so I can like get a real zoomed in look. I can move the shit. I just looked on Google Images. This in the lower corner. Thinking like this guy. That's the one that I want. It's a nice 3/4 angle, my favorite angle. The angle I draw pretty much everything at. I'm gonna bring him up and size it up. I know it's super pixely, but that's fine. Does not matter at all. I mean, it matters a little bit. Makes it a little bit harder to interpret, but it is what it is. Now start. There's two ways I'm thinking about doing it. Maybe I'll try both. Way one would be to just try to get the outside shape of the head down perfectly. Get the kind of like silhouette or whatever. Way two, which I think I'm probably going to do, is break it down in shapes. That's what I'm going to try at least. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that. Might do little category A, little category B. It's actually, I think, the first time I've drawn an animal with my tablet. I used to do it pretty... I was going to say frequently, not like frequently, but I've done it a bunch of times to other tools. One sec, I'm getting a little too in the weeds already. So this plane is more like this. I'm also experimenting with some different brush settings for my primary brush. I was fiddling around and I thought it looked like a... I know it's not supposed to be a pencil, but it really looked like it to me. This guy's got a really wacky head. It's got like no landmarks. One sec, I'm gonna doodle on top of it real quick just to try to get an understanding of what the hell I'm looking at. So this guy, it's because his shapes are all organic in real life. Okay. So he's got this big old triangle, ends in this weird square plane where its nose is. Triangle goes up. It rounds off. Okay. I'm starting to get it. It's got lower jaw. It's probably like open, so it can do the dumb tail thing. There we go. Now I'm getting it. Now just to translate this over. Once I get like a good copy, I can start moving over to actually like doodling the thing in earnest. I think generally speaking, starting a little bit more academic, quote unquote. Sound a little pretentious. Starting a little more the basic, boring stuff is helpful, at least for me. Try to get a little bit scaly dudes in there as well. Lizards are interesting creatures. I live in a desert, which I've said before, but we've really got just like very boring lizards for the most part. At least in my neighborhood. Obviously, a little further in, find more unique stuff. You can also find just friggin' rattlesnakes and instantly die. Step too near one. You know, that's the price you pay for wandering around the desert. Alright, think I've got its basic shape down a little bit. Looks like a dinosaur, which is awesome. Start working on its body, which is a little bit confusing, so I'm just gonna make shit up, basically. As long as it somewhat fits the contour or whatever of the picture, it should be fine. So I know it ends up at this angle because it's like a little doodad thingies, little sections between its tail, sort of give me a direct like look. Then goes in. I think this is its arm right here, which means its shoulder is here. Awesome. Starting to hit danger territory. Think I made a small proportional error somewhere. The body. It's starting to add up a little bit. When I do the squint test, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, I can't tell what I'm looking at anymore. This is awful. Whatever, I'm just gonna power through it. I'll just fake the rest of it. Don't see its claws, but it's probably got like normal lizard claws. I'm not gonna draw its tail. Maybe a little separate section over here. Tail looks actually kind of interesting in shape. Looks like it's got this little nub that it starts with, and it flowers out. Hard chitinous shapes. Which is cool. The circle I'm looking at might just be one of the spiky dudes, though. That's just like in line with the camera. It's a little hard to tell. I'm messing up proportions. I'm going to do another go at it. I guess what I could do is I could draw it like individual chunks instead. Yeah, I think that makes sense. It'd definitely be harder to keep the proportions straight if I do it this way, though. So I'm already encountering. Here's a good idea. I can just start with the basic shape, then break it or detail it in a sec. Looks like a winner strategy to me. I'll simplify the rest of the tail. Boom. Now, a lower opacity, eraser tool. There we go. Might need to add a little nubbin, go a little bit off the script. I think I borked proportions very slightly. That is fine. Not going for a perfect copy, just trying to get the spirit of the tail. I think I'm getting it. Yep. A little crunchy. It's cost of doing business. Not every drawing can be beautiful and uncrunchy with its lines. So I'm just trying to get the details in. Draw one more tail segment as well. Awesome. Okay. Got my first crack at it. Realistically, I could probably take a bunch of cracks at it, but I really want to be thorough. Copy like more of the things. I think I'll do one more, but a more like rotated one. Try to see if I can properly get the head shape. Neck is here. They have a really boxy, strange head. Yeah, I think this is pretty close. A big old eyeball scale thingies, the nose. It's not going to look like 100% perfect until I do like painting, maybe more accurate value placement. But it is what it is. I'm going to try to invent one a little more from imagination now. Start with the basic shapes. to be a little bit difficult since I'm trying to go from the underside. Maybe I shouldn't go from the underside. I think that's a little foolhardy. Most pictures of the thing are from the top, so actually I'm gonna do the top. So I guess I want it to be facing the camera, so maybe like this. Of course, looking at all the images, it kind of looks like the lizard just has the normal, like, dumbass lizard proportions, where it's like just laying on their stomach, like this. So maybe this is a little bit out of character for it. Yeah, I think I'll angle it upwards slightly. Have it focusing this way. It's gonna have its head like this. Its body seems to be like a very thin rectangle. I'm gonna do another thumbnail. Let's get an instinct rock going. Can have this thing, I guess, pointed this way. I'm gonna have it looking down. So it's gonna be boom. It's looking down. Its body's gonna coil to the right. It's very dramatic for a lizard. Maybe I should make delineations with where its pelvis is and stuff. Don't think I'll need to be that accurate with the anatomy though. Boom. Then I can have its tail like, I don't know, being dramatic like this. I guess its other arm is just like dangling on the side of the rock like this. Can maybe make it angle a little more like this. I think I can work with this, probably. I'm gonna size it up a little bit. So I can mess with the proportions a little more in detail. I think I will actually widen it a little bit too. Lizards are very wide creatures. Awesome. A slightly more finished version. Actually, we're butting on 20 minutes, so I might as well get like an actual start going. What? Why is my eraser the friggin'... There we go. It's a little bit too faint. Awesome. I think the rock probably should be expanded a little bit too, so I'm going to have the other leg more out there. I'm going to size it up very slightly more as well. No reason not to size it. I've got a humongous canvas. Bigger the better. As long as your computer can handle it. Boom. Awesome. In a little focus mode now. Probably shouldn't start with the nostrils. I mean, any landmark's landmark, I suppose. I'm going to start with the basic head shape. Try to work my way from there. I'm not going to want to do too much racing. If I can help it. Just because it makes the process slower. Looks okay-ish. I'm going to have the shape kind of flare down as well. Reconnect. And these armadillo lizard guys seem to have a pretty tiny neck. I think I can just kind of like indicate it a little bit. Maybe. Get started in the back. I think I recognize where the proportional error of the little faded out background thing is. I think its shoulders are a little bit closer to its head. So its arm like starts right here or something. Which is real awkward like, but that's fine. I'm looking at some of the pictures. Seems like their arms legitimately just go out at a weird horizontal angle. Guess it's so they don't like kick themselves in the face over and over. They're trying to walk. I'll just get that going. Their body scales seem to be divided into a recurring a boxy pattern as well. That sort of fans out from their core. I need to make the arms a little bit wider. They got a kind of like fuzzy monkey hand situation going. They have like the big flaring out scales and then like a normal hand. that isn't really scaly. I guess lizards kind of have like skin in places too or something. It's kind of weird to think about. Maybe it's just tiny scales? I'm not sure actually. I know like I'm pretty sure birds have skin under their feathers. So like lizards, but I mean lizard scales seem a little bit more like in there than birds, but I mean like birds are related to lizards. Not sure if they've got skin. Their hands kind of look like skeleton hands too. It's very weird. Kind of just drew the first hand like actual hands, which I'll have to go back and fix. And if this is overhead here. Just erase part of the lines so I remember. Oh yeah, this is starting to look good. I think I need to make the angle like go down a little bit more. So its pelvis is more like, yeah, down here. And it can have its weird like chicken leg thing going. Every picture I see, the lizard, it's got like a, you know, like a chicken wing. Oh, it's got like a, this shit looks kind of like that. So maybe I'll have it like, yeah, this looks right. That looks very lizardy. That's a good lizard angle. The ends in a weird nubbin with the giant lanky lizard fingers. Have one of them like bent backwards. So it's got no finger cartilage or whatever. Yep. Here will be its dramatic tail angle. Feeling real good about this. Now it's like halfway done. Obviously it's not like the most pretty like finished product, but I think that's fine. I feel myself learning. Feel the juice flowing into my brain. As we speak. There's probably a better way to do it scales. Most of the time when I drew scaled creatures back in the olden days when I was more active on Instagram, I would pretty much just like paint the actual shape, or no, draw the actual shape with the line work and then indicate the scales with painting, which I think is probably the way to go. In general, you don't want to be fiddling around painting every single scale. I've got this picture which is like a brown fishman dude. I think is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. I just kind of painted indications. Pretty much should do that with like fur and shit too. In my opinion. I know it's like I'm pretty sure there's like some people who go like absolutely ballistic. Like, you know, the in StarCraft 2, there's like these ultra high res pictures of like people's faces in the loading screen. It's like people will do that kind of shit. I got a little wonky in the proportions here. I think I can salvage this tail if I just move this section down one. Are you serious? It didn't give me the selection the first time. Not cool. Now let's move this over one, then draw another section. B for brush. Before you ask, no, I'm not going to flip the canvas. I don't want to feel bad about myself right now. I want to ride the high. I will do the squint test, though. You know what? I will flip the canvas. A little bit errors here and there, but not as bad as I was 100% thinking. If the torso is not like here, then technically this should be where the arm ends. Do little chicken fingers. I think that's about right. Also, the scales seem to go outwards towards the limb. Yeah, that looks about right. Now I'll flip it back. I'll save a little copy. This duder bottom left, just in case I go super off script and mess it up somehow. Also give me a nice little like progress look. And I'm gonna do, I think, one more pass and then I'll call it a day. So I'm gonna give it a like a 80, maybe a 85% opacity, sort of sweep the eraser on the wrong layer. Yeah. I should have gone a little more. I'm going to do a 50% sweep again. Okay. That's like at the perfect area where it's kind of hard to see, but not too hard to see. Be nice if there was like a... Can I get this to non... Nah, it's just... I guess 67% zoom is probably the best. Yeah. Okay. So what do these guys' eyeballs actually look like? I don't know, it just kind of lumps. Whatever, I'll just have to fix them. Maybe more like a... this kind of angle. If its head's going back here, pretend this is a little symmetrical. Boom. Yeah, looks about right-ish. Looks to me like a lizard eyeballs are sort of like a triangle shape. Like this. It's sort of like dug in a little color zone or some shit. Maybe can make this eyeball like 50% bigger. Yeah, about right. I'm imagining like a plane of symmetry for the head, trying to like position it where the lines make sense. The curves aren't exactly perfectly matching though, which is kind of a pain. But that looks about right. Lizards have this like weird ass thing where they've got like a lumpy nose too. It's not like a perfect triangle, it's like a gross like lumpoid, and then they've got like lizard lips which go out and they form with the other lizard lips. Looks kind of like it's doing duck lips, which is hilarious. There we go. It's got like a mean look. Mean look in its eyes. Alright, now I'm gonna try to do my best to mirror it. Other side. It's not like a perfect mirror because it's facing away from the camera though. So I can kind of just fake it a little bit. Looks like these guys got two big old dumb nostril scales. There we go. I'll just kind of like make the lips go like this. Then I'll add a shine line. And just scribble in eyeballs. Looks about right. This is going to be a very hard creature to just indicate its scales, I think, because it's got very like big chunky ones throughout most of its body. Need to zoom out, see if I'm fucking it up. Doesn't look like it. Well, face is a little wonky, but that is fine. I think the big, like, chitinous scales seem to sort of extend only on the back, like its little cape that's got. It's a little bit too nondescript. I'm just going to indicate sections for now, I think. Can add little lines after the fact. Give it its little arm flesh. Oh man, I think its arms are lamer than I'm drawing it out. I think it would actually be more like this, maybe. think its elbows aren't facing upwards. I think its elbows are actually downwards. Now I'm looking at it a little bit closer. Yeah, that looks about right. No, erase this shit a little bit. Kind of half erase this so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, this is really hard. Its arms aren't in like neat sections. It's like a tube with triangles coming out of it. Whatever, that looks fine, I guess. Kinda. Does it look fine? Let me zoom out. Say a solid 4 out of 10. I'm gonna keep pushing through though. There's often like a middle stage in many drawings where it kind of looks like dog shit. At least for me, because I tend to just try to fix issues as I see them. Fundies aren't quite good enough yet to just have it always look nice. I think the arm could be a little bit thicker. It's kind of like a big old chunky arm. Up until the hand. Like a winter coat. There we go. I'll just kind of have a more simplified, tinier hand on the other side. I'll zoom out. Have I messed up proportions too bad? Oh, this looks horrible. Okay, don't freak out. Alright, let me draw some torso under here so I can get a better look what I'm doing. I think it's because the line weight's all like uncannily similar. It's not as much energy in it. I'm gonna flip the canvas. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll make the hand angle in a little closer to the head or something. I'm just gonna redraw this arm. When in doubt, redraw. So maybe its arm should be lower on its torso. Maybe a little more out. Does this work? No, it looks disproportionate. I'm getting rid of this backhand. Oh, lizard proportions are so friggin' hard to work with. Maybe a little further back. Does that make sense? Maybe I'll do a quick, like, look-see-do, one of these guys. Okay, what is your deal? It's got like a tube head, gets on a tube body. It's got like very wide hips. Does the chicken leg. Its back foot. Yeah, its legs just kind of connect to the front. And it's got the tail. Okay. So then I guess I'll just picture it like it's like the spider. It's got like an eyeball thing like this. Or you know what? A bull's horns. That's what I'm gonna picture these legs as. Just the like a little grotesque like nub on top of a bull's head where the horns actually connect. Got a feeling the legs are a little bit like that. So if the legs are like that, then be kind of like this. And I think my chicken leg strategy worked out pretty good, so I'm just going to replicate that again. Same with the tail. Now I can zoom out. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. I think the head is a little too big too. I think the lips are also a little too pronounced. I shave the line weight on them a little bit. Okay. And shrink the head a little bit. Or maybe make the body bigger. I think it makes more sense to make the body bigger. Gives me more like juice on the canvas to work with. I can always resize the other arm as well. Yeah, there we go. That's looking better. I think I'll move the head a little bit. The other arm is also going to have to be adjusted majorly. This head guy could be a little bit down. Boom. This arm is completely not in the right spot as well. I'd say this is good enough. Yeah, that's looking more proportionate. Had a very big issue. Needs solving. We did just kind of like re-enter the sketch phase. It's a process. It's a marathon, not a race, after all. I think I'm going to clean up the front a little bit before I get too wrapped up in the details. Do a 90% erase. Actually get in there and work on this thingy. So the scales, first of all, from like a triangle around the hands. So that the little side section is still protected. arms are like lizard flesh. And they're spiky deeters. It seems like it kind of gently curves because the scales kind of hide the limb joints. The lizards, I think they've got like a skeleton like a normal creature does. I mean, of course they do. They're like vertebrates, right? Alright. Now I just get the knobbly hand. Be good to go. The little nasty chicken fingers. The chicken finger thumb. It's got like weirdo thumbs. Might be a little bit too much of a baby hand. It's kind of throwing the proportions off. There we go. Now it's like a monkey paw. Give its other monkey paw. Which I'll just indicate so I don't have to think about it too much. Oh, this thing's so fucking ugly. God damn. Fuck me. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna erase the lips. They're definitely making. They're not following the program. Even if it's like realistic, it's like too much detail. Gotta leave it to the imagination a little bit. Great, now it looks like it's pursing its lips. No, let's just not have lips. Fuck the lips. You know what? I'll give it like a little like open, dumb, slack jaw lizard expression. That's kind of what lizards do. They don't just like purse their lips. They like do this shit so they can like taste shit with their tongue or something. Maybe that's how they work. It's kind of weird that they would do that when they actually have like actual ass nostrils too. Yeah. Acceptable. I think I'm also gonna move the shine line. Yeah, that looks like more like a lizard eyeball on me. Have a lizard flesh. Chunk out a little more scaly boys. Just gonna add little spikes to the doodle chicken leg I've got. It's like when they're facing the camera, they gotta sort of like oblong kind of diamond shape going. And when they reach down, they're more like triangles. Then chicken nub, chicken fingers. Something like that. Maybe like one long one, like raptor claw. Boom. Draw the rock. It's nice and rounded, so we don't have to actually worry about the perspective as much. You know, I say that, but I'm trying to fix the perspective. Alright, chicken nub. Boom. Ah, fuck. This shit's hard as hell. Oh man, when it was looser, it looks so much better. Whatever, we continue to press on. Taking this design to the bottom of the sea. It'll be a challenge to see who can hold its breath longest. Drawing or me. Considering the drawings are inanimate objects, it's going to be a pretty difficult opponent to beat. I think I'm fucking up by having these like little areas of super contrast. It's making it look uglier. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's supposed to have like, I think there's supposed to be like little focal points with higher contrast in actual pieces. This is looking good. I like these little simple circle shapes. I'm getting lazy, I'm just gonna indicate it. Yeah, I think this little scribbly dude needs to get gone. Boom. These guys maybe as well. Yeah. Can indicate more scales on its head. They don't really actually have that many scales on their head. Seems like big, gentle ones. Definitely should indicate the eye scale thing though. Okay, I think we're starting to get there very slightly. Now I've said that and then walked back on it like 10 bajillion times so far, but I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit. Hating it less and less as time progresses. Might be my mental fatigue since it's like 2 a.m. right now. It's talking to me, but you know. It's getting there. I can do a little pass to make the external outline a little bit thicker. No, it looks amateurish as fuck. Never mind. Code red. Maybe a very small coat of paint underneath will do me well. Let's see, is there something bigger I can work with? I'm just gonna fill this in with the mouse. So why not? Oh man, my mouse sensitivity is way higher with this computer than my other computer. Feels good in a way. Feels like a gliding, very low friction. Eh, doesn't necessarily make it look much better or worse. Probably have to get in like some warm shadow tones. And I'm gonna lower the opacity. It's cooking. Yeah, put little gaps in between the scales. Kind of emphasize them. Probably should use the actual drawing tablet for this part. Get 100% opacity, since it's not using the mouse anymore. Do these guys have patterns on their scales? They do, kinda. Okay, I'll give a orangey stripe on half the scales. Awesome. Looks a little dog shit because it hasn't extended all the way to the head. Such is always the way. Make the thingy a little bigger. Pattern doesn't really extend to the legs, which just look like normal. So now I can get tinier. I think the actual shadows should be much redder and a little darker. Differentiate them. Yeah. I'm just picking red. I know typically the meme is like you do warm lights and cool shadows, or cool lights and warm shadows. That shit's relative anyways. Like in theory, like the pale yellow is cool in relation to the red shadows. So it's fine. In fact, all color is kind of relative. It's not actually a full thing. You know how there's like the those pictures where it's like a cube and there's like a bright spot and dark spot. It's like, ooh, the bright spot and the dark spot is actually the same color as the dark spot and the light spot. Shit like that. Same is true of color. Get shit looking. If you have a field of yellows, you can make a green out of a yellow. Stuff like that. Okay, I think I've successfully hidden a degree of my crummy line work with the coloring. It's my favorite technique in the book. I do it very often with my more finished works. Feels good to actually paint a little bit. Haven't really gotten any successes with painting up till now with the tablet. Actually, I had a setback painting earlier this week where I was trying to. I have this like boss in my D&D campaign. It's like some crazy, like Dark Souls-esque monster, which I may or may not put on the screen, and on patience of future me, and if I do release this video or not. Okay, I'm gonna have this like warmer. Boom. No, that looks like shit. Let's see. Guess I'll get like a quick gray to have this on a different layer as well. And give the rock like some colorization. If it's a desert rock, it probably should be like alright, give me some opacity to work with. Yeah. This is fine. Put like dark colors. Maybe I'll add the blues here. By blues, I mean, whatever this color is. Purples. under the lizard. Just to give it some contrast. Just scribbling with the mouse. No need to go absolutely nutso. Yeah, that looks nice. A little contrast. Maybe have this part follow the line so it looks a little more finished over here. There we go. Maybe I should have, for revisiting the lizard, could have a nice little pass of the red on this side as well, as opposed to like a lightness. See how that looks. This whole sort of part, maybe. Yeah. Ooh, that looks 3D. Nice little cell shaded kind of dealio. Trying to indicate the like flat planes of this weird ass lizard back as well. Does that look good? Yeah, looks 3D-ish. Oh, and if this part of the head's colored in, then I should have the arm also colored in, sort of indicate the same like 3D-ness. Yeah. And if the whole lizard is shaded on this side, then that means the rock should be shaded on this side as well. So I'll go into the rock layer, make this a little deeper, cooler, darker, bigger. Something like this, maybe? Something like that. Grab another color from the rock, one of those images. Kind of just doodle rock patterns. Pretend this is actual rock. Get this nasty gray color. Do I have a different, what's a scribbly brush? Yeah, this looks kind of like texture. Awesome. And revisit the paint layer. What tool was I using? Is this the tool I was using? This is not the tool I was using. It must have been this. Paint the underbelly. Boom. Okay. There we go. This is my lizard. There are many like it. This one is mine. It looks okay-ish. I could probably get into more detail. Realistically speaking, I should try to like finish this hand up too if I wanted this to be a properly finished piece, and maybe do another line work pass. Yada yada yada. Just gonna lightly color that in. You know, this is already an hour-long video. I don't have time for that shit. I'm content with this. I think it looks okay. I think it looks very okay. It's getting like a little ambient occlusion or whatever it's called. It's like the pitch black. Let's get that in there as well. I should stop fiddling with this. I'm done fit. Oh, that looks better. Oh crap, that does look good. God damn it. There we go. Now it's juicy. That contrast I was talking about, that's the contrast. There we go. Okay, now I'm done. I'm not touching my computer. Let me zoom in. There we go. So, yeah. That's sort of my... I'd say that's my process, but when I'm working with stuff I'm more comfortable with, I kind of just like go from the rip without breaking it down and doing a bunch of things. I don't know. This isn't like too far off what I normally do when I'm fiddling around trying to copy something. I think it's important to try to step outside your comfort zone, draw a variety of different creatures. This would be a case of me doing so. I'm very tempted to just do like another figure drawing session or do like 10 million episodes super auto pet since everyone's busy. But I'm happy I stuck through with this. Did not give up. I had the bigger lungs than this lizard, which is awesome. Yeah, I hope my commentary wasn't too bad. I find it a lot easier to talk with other people. It's very weird to just enter like a tangent talking about random stuff. I don't feel the like prompt which initiates a tangent. I probably should have like, I think in my most previous solo Torb Draws videos, I kind of had like a list of subjects on a notepad on the right hand screen, which I maybe could have done. Probably would have helped on that front, but maybe it would have soaked up so much brain RAM that I fucked up the lizard. Who knows? It is what it is. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I especially appreciate it if you made it all the way to this point in the video. Thank you very much for doing so. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time for more Torb Draws. Goodbye!